11. This is part 5, and in this part we're going to try and define the create table method, which is going to create the table in the database. All I've added different since the last video is this MySQL query. We're calling it MySQL 1 because, well, quite simply it's the first MySQL query we're going to use. And we're going to say that, the MySQL query is going to be create table. Table is going to be called this table. The value of this table was already set in the constructor. The ID is going to be an integer of up to 6 numbers. It's going to be an auto increment value, which means that what increment means is every time we add a row to the table, that value increments up by 1. The username is going to be a variable character of up to 30 characters. It can't be null, which means it's required. Password up to 30 characters, again not null. An email up to 30 characters, again not null. So quite a simple query. So let's start. So this MySQL 1 needs to be added up here. So private MySQL 1. Let's do that. And then let's say here that this MySQL 1, this is the value of MySQL 1 in this instance of the class is, this MySQL 1, let's do this differently. This MySQL query 1 equals MySQL query. And then we have to put our function through our SQL query through this function, MySQL query, and it goes this MySQL 1. So that should run the query. So let's create MySQL query 1 up here as a property of the class. So let's go private MySQL query 1. That does that. So this query, if it runs, should create the table. And again, just to remind you, the value of that table we set to cool table, and that was set in the constructor because we passed the parameter cool table when we created our object connect DB, and that called the constructor automatically, and the constructor set this instance of the table equal to the parameter table. So the table we should create should be called cool table. And what we should also do is, after our database is selected, inside the database method, we should call this create table method. So we should say that, let's do that. This create table, so that every time the select database method is called, the create table method is also called. All done there. Okay, that should be fine. And what else do we need to add here? Okay, so now that this query is run, the table should actually be created. But what we need to do is we need to do a little test to see if the query's been successful, because queries, for whatever reason, they might not always be successful. It could be that the database is down, or there's a problem with the MySQL software, or there's a session that's timed out. So let's just check that that table's been created. So the way we'll do that is we'll write another SQL query. We'll say that this MySQL2, because it's our second SQL query, and we'll say this MySQL2 equals select everything from this table and we'll say that this MySQL query 2 is equal to MySQL query this MySQL2, and we'll say that if empty, if that query doesn't return anything, if we fail to select everything from this table, then the table doesn't exist. So we'll say if empty, i.e. if the table is empty, because our query was to select everything from the table. So if that query returned nothing, it means the table doesn't exist. So if empty, this MySQL query 2 echo failed to create the table this table, and then append that with a line break, obviously. Okay, let's see how we are for time. Still a fair bit of time left, so we'll get this done. And then we'll put in here that else, if it's not empty, in other words, then the table was created, so we'll say echo the table, this table was created. Simple, as basic as that. So let's save it, and just to remind you, we've created our object down here. We've called the connection function, we've called the database function. The database method should, when it runs, automatically call the create table method here, and then the create table method should create the table. So let's see if our table is created. So let's run that. Missing argument for database. Does create table, we don't need it to pass a, that's wrong. We don't need it to pass a parameter, because the parameter for table, this table was already set in the constructor. So we have to get rid of that from the interface as well. So yeah, that can go. Let's run that again. Yeah, and it's done it. So yep. So this is it. These parts here have been set by the constructor, where it's saying host is set to localhost, user is set to root,